Morning folks, Russell here, coming from the shop. Over the last few days we've been doing shakedown drives on the CJ7. We just got it back up on the road. I'll put a link to it up wherever it goes. I think it's over here. But a few things popped up during the shakedown cruise. Number one, our parking brake wouldn't set no matter how hard you pushed on the pedal or how hard I had how tight I had the cable set. We've already addressed that, went into the drums assemblies and determined that supplier had sent me the wrong part. The actual parking brake arm was the incorrect part. I still had the originals, we just swapped them out. That's not a big deal. Parking brake works fine now. The second thing I noticed was the fuel gauge was very erratic. I've already ohm tested the level sensor and it zeroes out. So I've got a new fuel level sender on the way. When that shows up, I'll shoot a video on changing out a fuel level sensor in a CJ. Not a lot of fun, tank's gotta be dropped. But what we're gonna address today, the speedometer is inaccurate. It's always kind of a little bit of guesswork, picking out speedometer gears based off tire size and front and rear end gearing. We're running 32-inch tires with 354 or 355 gears. And of course, there are a bazillion charts on the internet, and I'll put a link in the description to a couple of them, and they're not all that accurate. One chart will say that for that gear size and tire size, you should be running this size speedometer gear, and another one will say a different one. So I've kind of guessed a little bit. When we assembled this, I put a 32 tooth speedometer gear in, and what I've found is that at 35 miles an hour indicated on the gauge, I'm actually doing about 38. So if you extrapolate that out, at 60 miles an hour, I'm doing closer to, 66, 67, 68 miles an hour. It's not what I want. I want an accurate speedometer reading. So, speedometer gears. If you want to drive the speedometer faster, so you want to indicate a higher speed at the same RPM, you make the gear tooth count on the speedo gear smaller. I've got a 32 tooth speedometer gear in right now, so I've ordered a 31 and a 30. Today we're going to put in the 31 and go out and test run it, compare the indicated speed versus there's one radar trap nearby, as well as using the Waze app on the phone, so kind of interpolating between the two. So we're going to put a 31 tooth in it. I'll move the camera down. Actually, I'll just crawl under and show you where it's at. It's really simple to change these out. Not difficult at all. So let me get the camera moved, show you where the speedometer gear's at, and then see if I can't set it up so that we can film this whole process. All right, so that there's the speedometer cable coming in. It comes into the Mopar injection speed adapter, which is screwed on to the housing. It's a single 1/2-inch bolt holding the retainer down. I wish I could get a better view, but we got a muffler in the way. This is about the best spot. So let me get a wrench in here and we'll start taking this out.
There's enough room to get it all out, I think. There's that retention spring. And the whole assembly. And the gear just pops out. Let me grab the fresh gear. Now y'all can't see it, but right next to where the bolt goes in is an arrow. And on the end of the Speedo gear holder, it's marked based off the size of the gear. So I had a 32 in it, and so it was set for 32 to 38, which is that there's a mark right here. But I'm putting a 31 in, so I've got to go to the next mark over, which would be right here. And what that does is sets because the gear sizes change dimension-wise. So, it's going to go in like that. Yep. I'm gonna put my lock ring back on. Right there. Put our bolt back in. If it's not gonna be stubborn. Now, mind you, I don't know if this is going to be enough of a change. That's why I bought a 30 as well. We test run this. If it turns out that I'm still faster than indicated, this is a simple enough job that I can do at the house. I will just change it myself. But I have a feeling that this will be enough. So, we shall see. And this is a very similar procedure, whether this is on a TJ, YJ, XJ, WJ, CJ. A lot of your, Chevy, Ford, Toyota, Nissan pickups. It's just a matter of you just have to have the right speedometer gear, and then you change it, and that adjusts for changes in tire size or differential ratios if you've done either or both in some cases. Alright, so now I have to plug my electronic speedometer unit up because the computer wants to know the speed of the vehicle. And then we put our mechanical cable back in, thread it on. And I was very pleased, like I said earlier, I had this speedometer restored and it is very smooth, no bounce, no weird fluctuations in it. And you know, part of that is making sure there's no weird kinks in the cable, and I always just hand tighten the speedometer cable into the Speedo unit. But that's changing a speedometer cable. Simple enough.
So let's take it for a test drive. All right, we're just gonna run up the road and try and see what it does. As you can see, we've got our speedometer here, and over here we've got the Waze app. So we'll just do a quick run up the road and see how accurate it is. It's it's dead on. 50 indicated, was 50 on the ways. May have been off by 1 mile an hour, but I'm okay with 1. So I'll end the video for now. If you like this content, go ahead and like, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon for future notifications, and as always, there's more to follow.